Welcome back to the only podcast that changes its name every other episode. My name is Josh Glore. Call back to, first of all, obviously got to address the name change, Afternoon Glory. Welcome back to Afternoon Glory, guys. Glory, some bitches. No, obviously, big old name change. Last name change. If you watched my old podcast, you'll know I had a bad habit of, I got cat hair all over this microphone. Good day to wear black. I changed my podcast name all the time, which is not recommended if you want listeners consistently. This time my name's attached. I spelled Gloory, Gloory, which my last name's spelled like floor but with a G. And so yeah, I was hesitant on doing that for the longest time, but it's solidified. It's a play on Morning Glory, which, fun fact, used to work with years ago. Not that many years ago, but years ago, I used to work with a guy. Talk about serendipity, I guess. Probably not. Maybe just a coincidence. His name was Josh Moore. It was spelled Moore. Yep, Moore. And he had joked one time, oh, we should, is before podcasts were really up there, before everyone and their mother had a podcast. By the way, I see a bunch of comics from Colorado that I know of. I'm not going to say that I know, because they definitely don't know me. Anyways, bunch of comics starting podcasts, and this isn't, obviously I digressed a little bit, but I'm gonna hold my tongue. If you're gonna use a handheld microphone, specifically the Shure SM58, you fucking hold it. Don't put it in a fucking. You just hold the microphone. I think that's mostly what it's. The only time it's not used to hold is if you're in a fucking band and you're playing an instrument. Other than that, you're supposed to hold it. My opinion. And if you're going to do a podcast where you're not holding the microphone, at least invest in the Shure MV7, which is kind of like the budget cousin of the Shure SM7B or SM7DB. Just my personal opinion. I'm making it a theme that I hate Colorado's comedy scene, but I don't. Very, very funny guys in that scene. And I hope, because Colorado's not X'd off the map for me, I hope next time I'm there, I hope I can get more than 5 minutes on a fucking stage there. Colorado's home for me, and I hope next time I come, it doesn't feel like it's not home. I was going to do a podcast with my friend. Well, I was never going to do, but it was an idea. Josh Moore said to me, Josh Glore, yeah, if we ever do a podcast, it'll be called Morning Glory. And I thought that was brilliant. I could spell his name uniquely how it's supposed to be spelled in my name, and that's the pun, which I think a good podcast name apparently needs. However, then I was going to do Morning Glory, spelled traditionally. That name's taken on some social media sites, so I just did Afternoon Glory. So Afternoon Glory, that's where the cup of coffee comes from. It's spilled, it's cracked, it's unique. Major quotations around when I just said unique. Maybe I'll be quirky enough to post it on afternoon time. Probably not. So obvious name change. And as I'm explaining this obvious name change, you're probably like thinking, Josh, where's the socks hat? I got a haircut. And you're probably also saying, Josh, just get to the obvious thing here. Oh, I shaved my beard. I'm 27 years old. I want to cling on to my youth officially. And it came from an underwhelming response when I told somebody I was 27 years old, and they said, oh, I thought you were 30-something. Because I've always prided myself on looking younger than I actually am. I'm sure the copious amounts of Bud Light, Modelo, whatever the hell else I'm drinking doesn't contribute. Hopefully, I look not 27 is what I'm getting at, and that's fair. That's fair. That's an insecurity of mine. I don't want to look like at my age. I don't want to look older than my age for sure. If there's anything I can do about it. With Afternoon Glory started officially. Can't change the name. I'm owning this. My name is attached. With all that being said, I'm looking for a second mic, not a co-host, but a second mic, definitely not paid. And for this to work, a lot of free time. You basically on call. I need you to I don't record these on a set schedule. The interviewing process is going to be long, excruciating. What's the word? Excruciating. Big old experiment. Just to be like, yeah, we're not doing this. It's gonna be agonizing. I'm sorry. I just gotta make sure you know when to chime in and when not to. I gotta know that you're on my comedic timing, which isn't really all that great. I mean, by the way, think of it this way. By the time your first year wraps as second mic on the Afternoon Glory podcast, doesn't really actually exist, sort of. I'll do a year-end compilation, 90 seconds max. Most of that's going to be me responding to so really, and also you're not on camera. You're going to be sitting over there at the kitchen table. Maybe we'll come to an agreement where you're my lookup guy. However, my camera blocks my TV, so even if we did a HDMI cord in your laptop, I would have to dodge the camera to see. Still working out the kinks. Maybe there's like a split cord, a splitter. Is that what they're called? Maybe there's a splitter where I have my laptop right here on the coffee table, and I don't know. We'll work out the kinks. Little to no speaking, but you'd be the best goddamn secondhand, the sidekick. What other passive aggressive ways can we describe this? You'd be good for Afternoon Glory. So if you're interested, please, or email me at afternoonglory@gmail.com. By the way, I deleted a bunch of Gmail accounts. I'm so bad at creating so many because I changed the name a lot, and I want the name to match the email. I use my phone number as a secondary resource, and finally Google just cuts me off and saying this phone number has been used like 108 times. You can't use it anymore. It took like 2 hours. Usually when I film these, I don't want to call them podcasts or episodes, but usually when I film these, I have 2 cats. I'm minus a cat right now, and woman in the house. Nova just up and left me. No, I'm kidding. She's visiting college. She's visiting home. Hopefully doing some co-op secretive mission in the comedy scene and saying, hey, Josh Gloory, good guy. He might come back and he might want longer than 2 minutes on stage. No, but minus 1 cat. I did the old Steven Crowder, which I saw his name on a list of comedians, 10 comedians I don't like. I saw Steven Crowder's name on there. He's not a comedian from my knowledge. He's a political commentator. Steven Crowder, a political commentator. If you also look up comedian and go to Wikipedia's page and look up list of comedians, there's many people on there that aren't comedians at all. Somebody said, he spent a great deal of time talking about how Steven Crowder's a piece of shit, which, yeah, maybe. He had a video. He was on, like, pretend you have a deck or a back porch and you got those wooden beams and you can, you can put something over it. There was like a Ring doorbell camera. Don't know if it was planted. I don't know if he had that on, because it's good view. Like maybe there's a raccoon on your porch and you want to know about it, which doesn't surprise me if you're as conservative as Steven Crowder. But and then he's telling his pregnant wife that he lays down the law, blah blah blah. She kept emphasizing I love you, but I need some time to I just need to chill. You're being an asshole. And he's like, I don't love you, and that's I don't know what he said. It was something along those lines. You're making it hard, and that's why I don't love you. I don't know, but it also looked strange. Also doesn't. I don't bat my eyes if he did put that up there looking for a raccoon. Totally forgot about it. And then his wife, pregnant wife, was like, "You're a piece of shit. You're talking to me like I'm a piece of shit. So let's make away with this." Don't know how he's a comedian, but and I didn't tell Nova that. That's what I'm getting at. I think the girl divorced him. Just those political commentaries are just insane. Tucker Carlson. Well, I will say though, always my whole life I was raised by a single mother. Naturally, how I was brought up, I swing left on a lot of issues. I'd like to think of myself in the middle. As I get older and my cynicism just aligns more with conservatives, if I have some real cynical takes, I can count on a Tucker Carlson, Shapiro. What's the other guy? The guy I was just talking about, Steven Crowder. I can count on those guys to give me some good feedback. The left's sad. It's historically sad. It's like that Jeff Daniels clip where Harry from Dumb and Dumber, "Why is America great?" It's a good clip. Well, check it out. It was way better before America became what it is now. But definitely check it out. And I like to think that I'm right in the middle. However, I do credit it's not even like support, it's just my absolute love and infatuation with abortion that puts me extreme left. That's on me. I don't care. If you're struggling to afford an abortion, contact me. We'll work something out. Only if you're the chick. Obviously, if you're a guy hitting me up saying, "This chick I knocked up," I'm not gonna do it. But if you're a chick and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this," we'll work something out. That's how much I'm infatuated with pro-choice and in women's rights. Critique my comedy though, and I don't like you. I'm kidding. Yeah, Steven Crowder is not a comedian. My gripe of the week, I didn't have one last episode, although I've had this one stirring up for a few months. My gripe of the week is people who don't break down their boxes. So I moved to Chicago. In this building, only building I've lived in Chicago, and we have 2 dumpsters, which is fine. I don't think there's that many units in the building. There's 5 floors, and I throw out the trash multiple times a week. And if you know anything about Chicago, despite whatever fear-mongering portrait the media portrays, I still can't get over that. I literally can't get it. It's hysterical. And I fell in love with this city before I ever paid a single dime of rent here. And I think you would too, to an extent. Maybe you don't fall in love with the city, but you like it. How everyone's like, "Oh my God, Chicago, you're going to live in Chicago? Or aren't you going to get murdered?" Well, thanks for telling me you're a supporter of the media, which I'm not a conspiracy kook. I support the media all you want, if that's how you get updated and stay current. I don't have a better alternative. I don't know how I stay updated and current. I guess social media, which that's still not much better than the media. But Chicago's a very, very, very clean city. Used to work at a hotel. A lot of international visas, work visas coming through, and they'd spend they'd end their employment and they'd have like a month and a half to go visit cities. Sometimes they would break it up and do it during their stay. And everyone told me, out of all the American cities, Chicago's the cleanest. And Chicago has gentivity. Is that how you say it? Gentivity? Like like geniusness? That seems kind of like a lazy way to say it. But gentivity in their roots, they reverse the Chicago River, for fuck's sakes. Like that's I don't know anything about reversing rivers. I'll be the first to admit that. Could you imagine a room full of people and they're like, "Yeah, you know how Chicago reversed the river, right?" And everyone's fucking talking out of their ass. Like, you kidding me? But yeah, they did that. I don't even know the first thing about it. And beautiful, just like, and then the Chicago has 1,900 miles worth of alleyways. That's how they keep it so clean, as opposed to cities like New York. At least my alley, I know. I also don't recommend walking through Chicago alleyways. It's not that bad, but the signs posted that say something along the lines of, "When you feed rats, you breed rats." And so, to go back to my point, taking the trash out multiple times a week. Got a few boxes in hand. When I'm walking to the trash or the dumpster, I see scattering underneath. I always look immediately under the dumpster when I'm 25, 30, 40 feet away, and I just see them leaving, which is good. I don't want them crawling up my leg. I don't think they would. So with that being said, when I throw away my bag of garbage, which is supposed to go in the dumpster, and there's 15 unbroken down boxes, that's just kills me. I always manage to see like you ever heard of Chewy? It's like an online pet store as pet accessories. I always manage to see a way too big box. Like the box that I see in the dumpster that says Chewy on it is, holy shit, this owner loves their pet a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. I had a full support system, family and friends who loved me, supported me, a job that paid decently nice for what it was, entry level. And I had all of that behind me, and I still managed to wake up and just want to fucking kill myself. Had a full support system, people that were behind me. I still wanted to fucking... I just fantasized about it. Haven't done that in a long time. I got a cat. Literally, I wouldn't say night and day, but it kind of is night and day. So I love pets. I support anybody. I honestly still think the happiest person in the world should get a pet if they don't have a pet. But anyways, throwing away these bags, just fucking boxes, big old box, says Chewy on it, and of course like 14 other boxes. And so like what I try to do is if this happens and what I try to do is if the dumpster is overflowing, and I have to try to balance my bag at the very top, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. It's my brain thinking, don't feed the rats so you don't breed the rats, because they'll get in the garbage if you just put it against the side, which is what people do. Just fucking frustrated, because once you get a rat or roach infestation, the building's pretty much condemned. I don't know the details, but I've seen Reddit. They'll fucking let you break the lease, and then it's the building's problem. But I don't want that problem to begin with. It's like COVID. All these people said, well, it's just like having the flu, and I've had COVID a few times. Yeah, it is, but I don't want to feel like that to begin with. I understand, but honestly, I think I'd rather have COVID a lot more than a fucking being forced to leave my building. That bugs me, and I feel like I'm the only fucking person in this building that breaks down their boxes. And you better believe when people are pulling into the parking lot, in the covered parking, I fucking give them as I'm breaking down the boxes, like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck it just annoys me. Maybe this wasn't an issue in Colorado Springs. Very spread out city. I mean, I guess Chicago is arguably as well. Very spread out city. I see those rats under there all the time, you fucking dipshit. And the segue, a nice segue actually, is Nova. God bless her heart, and I see nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's a vice, because I've been more advantageous to it than she. I don't know. Maybe we've both been beneficial from it. She shops a lot. All right, and that's okay. It's her little shopping has had intricate things that have tied the house together. A nice vase with a plant there, a nice candle, a nice little bronze thing, which we have two of them, but that was her not returning one. And then nice decorative boxes, nice fake candles, more candles, a vase with a fake plant. Just little tiny things that you would see at maybe Ross or TJ Maxx. You don't want that in your home. You want, which I'm also learning that the store Anthropology just seems to make women's pussies so fucking wet. They love that store. I've been in a multi-story Anthropology, and I was ready to get out and 15 minutes tops. But good. It's good that a lot of women love this store, and a lot of our plates are from Anthropologie. You can't see it. There's a blanket over there from Anthropologie. It's just a wonderful store to tie together the house. And shout out to Nova. I've said this before. She's made every house I lived in felt more like a home. This one feels extremely homey. I'm only saying it's a vice because she said it's a vice. I think it's been beneficial to the both of us. But she likes to shop. Nova's very, very articulate. She keeps the boxes because she does like a trial and error period. Like, do I like this product? Do I want to, like, even the packaging clothes comes in, those little flat, flexible pieces of plastic and that I always rip open and I can't reuse. She's like, oh, I got to make sure it fits right. Maybe I need another size. Maybe I want another color, so I keep this so it's easy to do returns. Much to her credit, she's very good at that. I'm not, but she's not going to just throw away a box eagerly. And so there's been times when she's did a little haul. I'm like, where can we fucking get rid of these boxes? Oh, and by the way, very, very overstimulating feeling. We already live in a liminal space, and so you add full unbroken down boxes. It drives me nuts. Hopefully somebody else feels that way. I'm not the only one that's fucking going crazy by empty boxes that we may or may not need to throw away. So Cyber Monday comes around and she's like, oh, you're not ready for Cyber Monday. And I thought that was a joke. That's something Nova would. It's like 50-50. She's sort of being like, it could happen, or like she's just joking and gets a few things. She got a lot of boxes. Some vases I was talking about earlier, clothes. She bought a Roomba. I don't know if you've ever set up a Roomba, but it's not fun. You have to let it scan the whole entire floor. So she's like, can you please set it up? She's at work. I'm like, yeah, you bought a fucking another thing for the house. Of course I'm going to set it up. It's the very absolute least I could do. And there's these boxes, a fucking sea of boxes all over the house. So I had this whole couch, which is a little sectional, full of boxes, this coffee table, which my foot's resting against, full of boxes. The bedroom bed is full of boxes, so this Roomba doesn't get confused and think it's a piece of furniture. Just one of the most overstimulating feelings in the world. As a matter of fact, we have two boxes on top of the fridge, and it's just insanity how we're holding on to these boxes. But she knows that. She knows it stresses me out, and I think those are the only two boxes in this house. I happen to be looking at one over here. That's fine, and she's gotten better at it. So yeah, that's my gripe of the week. Sorry, very neurotic about those boxes, but why does it matter? I think I'm just a hose bee in a world full of Jose's. That's good, right? It's nice because hose bee is just funny. And Jose, like Jose Contreras, it might have been a little racial, but I've never met a white guy that goes by Jose. And if I did, I'd have a lot of questions about cultural, what is it, appropriation for a white guy going by Jose. But it's like I'm a solid B in a world full of A pluses, solid hose B in a world full of Jose pluses. All right, now that we got that out of the way. Been seeing some ads lately, really just one ad that keeps playing about alopecia. The first time I was introduced to alopecia, I don't even think, I'm just going by this girl that's in a mutual circle in Colorado Springs that had made a statement that she had it. And I'm honestly generalizing. She was losing her hair. But looking back, I think I can make that assumption. If I'm not, fucking burn me at the stake. I'm sorry. But what I do remember about that post is it's very rare. Very, very, very rare. I think with the Jada Pinkett Smith, and of course that caused a whole Will Smith, Chris Rock debacle. Fine, alopecia, that's fine. What I didn't like about the whole side note, what I didn't like about the whole Will Smith slap and Chris Rock thing is all these jokes, these low hanging like, sorry, that's my alopecia acting up. What? What the fuck are you talking about? Or sorry, or a fucking. I know bald guys take a lot of shit, but they were still punching down with that one. Like, if you were the first person to say it, so be it. That ride that wave, but you can't keep saying it. Yeah, sometimes that's a bane when I'm writing jokes. I'm like, somebody's had to say this before. No way that I came up with it, but I did, and that's why Colorado Springs should give me more than. No, I'm kidding. So really rare. Can we look it up right now? From my understanding, I thought it was rare, but just looking up what the percentage, 1 in 50 men or women have alopecia, which I feel like is not that rare. There's 7 billion people, and 1 in 50 of them. But then it says 2% of people across the world have alopecia, man or woman. It kind of backs what I'm saying. But that 1 in 50 stat, when you look at it like that kind of like changes things. But when I first was introduced to it, I thought it was super rare. And then Jada Pinkett Smith being one of 50 people in Hollywood to have it. And then now I'm seeing ads. You would think because it's so rare, 2% of people in the world know. I could be wrong, but you would think that they'd have a beat on this ad before it was popular. Like, why? I don't want to sound like a fucking conservative, but why do I need to see it? Okay, that sounds. I take that back. Do I need to see it every time? I don't know. I rewatched Netflix's The Dirt. Not that good of a movie. I didn't think it was that amazing when it came out 5 years ago, which is crazy to say. The movie played a large part in my 2019. Very, very influenced by the movie, much like a white guy hip hop influence was moved by the biopic Straight Outta Compton, which I was in that category as well. But The Dirt just grabbed a hold of me. I was like, holy shit! And Motley Crue's music, I'm still a fan of a lot of those songs. I think they're solid B songs. I don't think they're A+ songs or classics. Maybe some of them. I would take Motley Crue over Guns N' Roses, Poison. As far as glam rock's concerned, I guess Motley Crue is coming out on top in my book. But rewatched it. The pacing on that movie I don't like. I think it moves quick. And if you've ever read the book, I just fucking recommend it. You get to literally read in black and white how Nikki Sixx and Tommy Lee just rape a chick in a closet. It did come back to them, I think, when the book was published. They didn't get away with it. Maybe they did in the grand scheme of things, but you know what I mean. They faced some backlash. Just insane. I'm sure there's more shit in that book that couldn't be said. But the book, the movie does follow like how the book's written. They chime in and out of each other's, I guess, chapters or what they have to say. And the movie's good at that. And I guess if you're thinking about it, the movie's not that bad in terms of the director was a guy filming Steve-O fucking get lunged in a porta potty, or Johnny Knoxville getting fucking just rocked by a bull multiple times, or him filming a giant hand smacking Wee Man. I guess when you put it in that terms, like, you did a pretty good job, and I'll stand by that. But the pacing of the movie I hated, but I understand the challenge. The book was really difficult, a lot of juicy stuff. How do you fit that all in a book, but make it still dramatized in Hollywood's terms, and make it watchable? I guess my only issue is just right at about the 45-minute mark. If you pause the movie, 44 minute, 45, can't remember, maybe even 46. You pause the movie and it says Ronaldo Beach, like 1984, I think. Whenever Vince Neil killed Razzle from Hanoi Rocks, I felt like that moved really quickly. Up until then, like, I thought it was decently paced, and then now we get this traumatic. But at the same time, it's like, what else? Maybe I'm being too hard on the movie, and it's because I watch it once a year, because that was such a really fun time in my life when that movie came out, and how much of a very impressionable. If it's up my alley and I grabs, I think I'm autistic. Nova says I'm not, and I'm not gonna be that guy that says, "Oh, I'm autistic, I'm depressed." Like, I don't need a badge of oppression, but like that obsessive behavior of researching and stuff really concerns me. But maybe it's just a question of I don't know how to be my own person. I really should get a therapist, but I refuse. I sound crazy. I know I'm talking too fast. I had a couple cans of hooch from the Anheuser-Busch company. It comes in a blue can. Shane Gillis drinks a lot of them. Yeah, so maybe I'm being too hard on this movie, and I've seen it too many times. Definitely, I wouldn't say captivating, but holy shit, did this really happen? Movie when you watch it the first time, and I don't think I watched it in 2023, so definitely had to watch it 2024. I also don't like the actors. I felt like when Vince Neil cried to his former bandmates, known as Motley Crue, towards the end, it was extremely sad. I couldn't imagine losing a child. I couldn't even imagine having one, let alone losing one. Felt like that was I don't know. It just seemed silly. But then again, what do I know? Also, when Nikki Sixx, they invite Vince Neil to try out for the band. They're doing Livewire, and they try it, and then they're like, "Oh, let's drop it half a step down, and then try it like this, hold that." And then Nikki Sixx was like, "And muzzle that." He said it sort of like that. I said it more in like a douchey way. I do give the actor credit. He said it more of a I'm a rock star way, but it just had that twang. Even sometimes how he narrated the movie just really irritated me this recent watch through. Also, recently watched the movie Blockers. It's supposed to be Cock Blockers on Netflix. There's a little rooster in front of the word blockers, but you're not gonna. This movie is old enough to have come out in movie theaters, and with John Cena's name attached. Honest, how are you gonna sell a movie called Cock Blockers even if John Cena's name's not attached? That movie's is pretty much what you would expect. That guy from Neighbors is in it. Pretty much typecast to play that same character from Neighbors. He's doing it again, pretty much in Blockers, which is a real shitty thing. It's one thing to be typecast by the industry, but to be typecast with a movie where you were on screen, shared screen time with Seth Rogen, and then he does another movie where he produces it, but he's not necessarily in it, and then say, hey, you're playing that guy in that movie we did together. That's gotta suck a little bit, but range is important. In comedy all the time, I feel like comedy has the most typecast like actors, so whatever. That's fine. Leslie Mann is wearing I don't know if she's wearing one, but her cleavage is pushed up more than normal. That's it's not that great. I used to have a childhood crush on Leslie Mann. I don't know if it was her voice. Really, the Jennifer Tilly, Joey Lauren Adams. I don't know if it's that fucking voice. Yeah, but it made my junk wiggle a lot growing up. But now I'm 27 years old, and it's like it's kind of fucking annoying. The phone line is still open, so definitely call that or text it at area code 719. I did not forget where I came from. Area code 719. Just when I go back, I hope I get more than 3 minutes of an open mic, and never have to endure going to an open mic where the list caps at 100. Goddamn insanity. Denver comedians, you know what I'm talking about, whether you like it or not. So yes, call 719-507-2006. That's the phone line. Area code 719-507-2006. Call or text. I won't answer. I mean, I'll answer on the podcast, but I won't know who it is. And we'll do a little bit at a time. We won't make half the show a call-in show. That's That's insane. So anyways, guys, I guess this is like episode number 4, first official episode under Afternoon Glory. I'll see you when I see you. Gotta talk a little slower. But again, had a couple cans of hooch. You just keep going at it. All right, guys. Thank you.